Shalom, shalom. Like, I didn't know I was live. Go ahead and get started with watching this crazy picture. You know, when I get started, we give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kapidas. Hey, man, I'm out here, you know, I'm out here again. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, you know, but let me see another week. You know, it's been a hell of a week, you know, but I'm still pushing though. You know, it's been a hell of a week this week, man. And the battle's not over. You know, but Lord willing, I better to keep pushing. You know, but we're gonna get into it with prophecy because that's all that it is. That's all to talk about is just prophecy. You know, I can get into other things. You know, but for the most part, the precepts, the Bible has been broken down. You know, there's nothing, there's no new revelations for you people, man. Only thing left now is judgment. You know, if you want to learn something, just go back in the old videos and type in whatever you want to learn. Man. It's just straight up judgment from now on, man, and prophecy. You know, letting you know that we at the end, and that the so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans, man, we about to get caught up in this Jacob's trouble, this storm that's getting ready to start brewing here. You know, but let's get straight into it. It's Matthew 24 and verse 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives," talking about Yahushua, "the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So here it is, the disciples is asking the one you ignorantly call Jesus, what would be the end of the world? What would be the signs of thy coming? And let's see what he said. It says, and Yahweh answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Verse 5, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. So yeah, you got a lot of false prophets out here, man. You know, saying, I ran into one person, you know, this motherfucker live in like New Roads, Louisiana, man. And he walking around talking about he the Messiah, man. Out of his damn mind, man. You know, that don't go on. Well, that goes to show, there's been countless others though that I can't seem to remember right now, but for some reason that demon came in my head, man. I saw this guy in the flesh, man, personally, walking around in some damn sandals and a linen outfit, talking about he the son of man. Here it is. He was just eating damn chitlins and cracklings and shit not too long ago. Now he talking about he the Messiah. I don't know where that guy is right now. Hopefully the Lord killed him, man. Verse 6. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. So we've been hearing wars and rumors of wars for quite a while, but like they say, the war drums are beating louder, man. We got this war with Iran and Israel, and the U.S. being tagged along in it, thrown into it. You got Russia, Ukraine. Now you got Russia and the EU, NATO. So all these wars are being talked about in the news, man. So this is the one you didn't really call Jesus and saying, hey, this is going to be some of the signs of the time with me getting closer. You got Belarus. They got their damn nuclear missiles the other day, man. They got their shit tipped off with nukes on it. You got China talking about they want to invade Taiwan. So you got number wars and rumors of wars, man. This ain't the time to be twiddling your thumbs and worrying about getting a damn slab of ribs for Memorial Day, man. Go on. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to. Let's let this pass. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yeah, the end is not yet. Because there's some things that got to take place first, man. Your stupid ass pastor don't know the signs of the times, man. Your grandmama don't know the signs of the times. Your prophetess wife, like I saw on one of the brothers' videos, his wife is a prophetess. Yeah, well, that bitch don't know the sign of the times, man. Only the man of the Lord know the true sign of the times. And like I said, the end is not yet, because like I just said, man, some things that got to take place first. It's a couple things, well, a few things, man. They got to take place first before he returns. Verse 7, but nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines. So yeah, the famine is brewing already with this Iran, with this straight up Hormuz being closed, man. They talking about if nothing's open in about 6 months, you're gonna see some global food ramifications, man. You're gonna see some shortages in the food supply. So they trying to, squeeze it in there, lightly, like it's no big deal. but they know it's gonna be a famine. But they projecting there's gonna be millions of people that die, you know, and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So yeah, you got earthquakes all over, man. Just go to the website. I think the USCG or something like that. I forget exactly where it is, but just type in earthquakes and then bring you up to the, I think it's a government website, and you can just check earthquakes all over the fucking planet, all over the world. Verse 8, all these are the beginning sorrows. So yeah, shit's gonna get real, man. They talking about, oh, when the Lord come back, it's gonna be one big picnic, you know. Everybody's gonna be sitting around eating chicken, playing with puppies and kittens and shit. You know, it's gonna be some, like I said, it's gonna be the beginning of sorrows. You know, matter of fact, it's gonna be a time like none other, man. There's no written time in history on how bad it's gonna get. You can't wrap your mind on how bad shit's gonna get out here, man. No food, no water, no lights, you know? You're gonna be fighting it out with your next door neighbor, man. Shooting it out, stabbing it out, whatever the case may be. All because, hey, there's gonna be a lack of bread, man. There's gonna be no food here real soon, man. Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So this is talking about the elect right here. This ain't talking about everybody. Yeah? This ain't talking about everybody on this side. This is talking about the elect, that who the Lord is dealing with. Because, you know, brothers like myself, you know, some of us gonna be killed, man. They're gonna drag us out. Like I said, they're gonna bring us into these synagogues and these other like government type places, you know, and say, hey man, what's all that hate speech you've been speaking, you know? What's that Bible you've been talking about, you know? And they're gonna ask, hey, you know, is this you in this video? You talking shit about the so-called white man? You know, you wanna take them words back? Like, hell nah, I stand on everything I said, man. You know? And you can record this right now and play it back. Everything I said, I meant, you know, and I'm standing on it. 10 toes down, like they say. You know? So some of us gonna be killed for this, man. And that's just what it is. And everybody like, oh, just kill them crazy niggas, you know, and everything gonna be all right. But it ain't gonna work like that. No? You're gonna see some people that you thought would never turn on you in that day, man. You know, if there's a snitch hotline, believe me, they gonna be on it, man. You know, don't say nothing right now, but he in the room sleep. You know, can you send somebody over right now? I'm a stalling, you know. So for a man of the Lord, man, you're pretty much on your own out here, man. You ain't got no friends, man. You know, and your family, you know, that's gonna change like the wind, man. They're gonna love you today and hate your ass tomorrow, man. You know, that just comes with the territory. And like I was telling my woman, she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna snitch on you." I said, "Shit, who the hell you think you trying to fool? Let them folks get your ass in that room and turn that light on your ass. You know, I bet your ass start snitching then. You know, So that's why the Lord is only calling men to this battle. You know, He ain't looking for no women to come out here. You know, only ye men of Israel, man, is called to do this work. You know, hey, I'm gonna say it, hey, like James Brown said, man, loud and proud, man. So we're gonna be killed for Yahweh Shai's sake, man, and it's all good, man. 'Cause we dead anyway, man. This ain't fucking living. You know, gotta get up and go to work every damn day. You know, you gotta work for somebody who fucking hates your guts. You know, this ain't fucking working. I mean, this ain't fucking living selectively. You know, I'm the boss. Fuck, I'm working for a damn peasant for man. You know, you beneath me. You know, don't you know that kills me? You know, but hey, we fucked up, so we gotta ride our sentence out. Verse 10, and then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. So yeah, so many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Yeah, and you know, hey, it's gonna be some brothers that crack up, man, and they're gonna be snitching on other brothers, man. You know, they're gonna get weak. You know, and like I said, you're gonna have family snitching you out. Your best, you thought you was your best friend. You're gonna be the first one on the phone, man. You know, giving them your full address, your whole name too, your whole government name. You know, and if you got some kids, believe me, they're gonna rat your ass out, man. Cause don't nobody want to make the so-called white man mad, man. You know, niggas talk a lot of shit, but when the so-called white man come in with them guns and that paperwork, niggas ain't so tough no more, man. You know, they show with them badges and them guns, niggas get real docile, man. You know, and they get the stuttering and fucking tap dancing, man. Verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. So yeah, a lot of false prophets have risen and deceived many because hey, a lot of people have been thinking, hey, listen to these false prophets. Matter of fact, it was that African nigga with some African what about a year ago. Somebody, oh, it's the end of the world, you know, and that nigga's still here, man. They beat his ass for lying, scamming them. He took them people money, man. He took them damn Africans' money over there. And they beat his ass good, you know. And you know, he had all them crazy ass Hamites over there, you know, so-called Africans, believing it was the end of the world. Why? Because he was a false prophet. You don't know the sign of the times, man. The Holy Spirit got to be dealing with you, man. You know, you just can't come up here and wing this. You know, you can't just come up here and sit up all night and write you a few precepts, few scriptures, and all of a sudden the Lord dealing with you. It don't work like that, man. It don't work like that at all. You know, you got to have the eyesight in order to interpret this book. You know, the Holy Spirit, if you will. Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all of the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Yeah, this gospel has been preached all across the world, man. You can go on YouTube and you can find brothers like myself all over the planet, man. You know? So we're in the stage of the end. If you don't believe me, just go check the average lifespan of an empire, which is 250 years. And America is going to be 250 years old on July 4th. So your average empire collapses 250 years. And here it is, we in May, going straight into June, man. We about to see this bitch collapse, man. We almost out this bitch, man. We almost out this bitch. Oh man, I skipped one. So like I go to verse 12 and 13. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And you can see that now, man. I'm on YouTube all night long looking at news clips, videos all over the country. And motherfuckers getting killed for a little nothing, man. I saw somebody last night, the latest one, they got killed over damn, I think it was in Detroit. Got killed over some niggas arguing back and forth on Facebook, man. If you honk your horn wrong at somebody, you liable to get killed, man. You look at a motherfucker the wrong way. Like I was talking to a guy at work yesterday or day before yesterday. He was telling me how he was at a gas station and this guy went and dumped all his trash out in the parking lot. But he was like, he come to the gas station a lot. He know the owner. He was like, I'm gonna pick it up, pick the trash up after the guy left. He said, as soon as he picked it up and put the trash in the trash can, all he heard was tires screeching, man. He said he looked up and he see this crazy, you know what I want to say, backing up in the middle of the street. So he backs up and jump out the car. He raising his shirt to my, you ain't embarrassing me by picking my trash up. This, that, and the third. So he about to kill the old man at work for throwing trash away. So the love of many. Matter of fact, let's get that again. I don't want to mess it up. It said, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, a nigga kill your ass for putting trash in the trash can. You know? If you open the door for a nigga, man, he liable to kill you, man. Saying you disrespecting him. He's like, oh, brother, let me get this door for you, Nigga, fuck you, nigga. Next thing you know, you in a damn shootout, man. He said, because of iniquity, man. And iniquity is rampant. We talking about sin on top of sin, man. So that's why people are waxing cold, man. It was someplace in Memphis I was looking at on YouTube. Somebody got shot, leaking on the ground. They was at a food truck. They were stepping over him. They see him twitching and bleeding. They stepping over him to get their food, man. Hey, it's a cold world out here, man. They were worried about getting their order than this man being shot and leaking, man. Right there by the food truck. Verse 13. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So yeah, if I endure to the end, man, I'm gonna be saved out of here, man. You know, Lord willing. 'Cause just because I'm doing this don't mean I got a ticket out of here, man. You know, you got to keep working. Maybe I will. Maybe I get out of here, and maybe I won't. But at least I got a fighting chance, man. You know, maybe I make it, maybe I won't. You know, I like them kind of odds. I can take that, man. That's what the Most High giving me. I'm gonna take it. You know, he's saying, hey, maybe you will, maybe you won't. You know, so I'm gonna work with that. And then we're gonna go back to 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all of the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Yeah, the true gospel, man. Not this shit you hear from TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Kenneth Copeland. What's that other fat fuck? John Hagee or some shit. You know? Uh Joyce Meyer. Your local scumbag preacher, man. They haven't preached this gospel, the true gospel, man. So we have been preaching this true gospel. My apostles, who I learned from for 40 plus years. You know, and myself going on 9 years, man. You know, this is going on 9 years for me. And it's a good thing to see, man. We almost at the end. We can see the finish line. You know, we can see that damn banner, that ribbon down there, man. And we just ready to cross it, you know? So that's why we waiting on Trump bitch ass to start this war up again, man. You know, he playing games every other week. I'm like, oh, we going to war, we ain't going to war. Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, I'm gonna give him another shot. Oh, that fucking playing, man. Goddamn Trump play too fucking much. Never seen an old ass kid, man. You know? All he doing is rigging the markets with his goofy looking ass, man. Fucking goofy ass crap. And that's who over us. That's who ruling over us. Disgusts me, man. Well, we fail hard. We fail real hard, man. We ain't never been this low. You know? We have fallen. We under the pavement, man. You know, but our sentence is almost up, man. Our sentence is almost up. Because I can't take much more of this. You know? I'm like, Lord, please, let's speed this up. Get us out of here, man. You know? Get us to come get us, please. I know the scripture say, hey, paraphrasing, it's nothing like seeing the joy. It's nothing like seeing the downfall of your enemy, you know? But I'm tired of looking at them, you know? You know? It's like, Lord, please come get a next, you know? Like, you know, when you growing up getting beaten and shit, whoopings, like, I won't do it again. I won't do it again. Lord, please, Lord, I won't do it again. Just come get me out of here, man. Please. You know, this is a living nightmare, man. You know, you got people poisoning your food, your water, the air you breathe, clothes you wear got chemicals, poisons in it, cancer causing chemicals, your toothpaste, your detergent, your cookware. It's like being in a damn horror film, man. And now they want to shoot you up with some shit because they talking about Ebola out now, man. You know, so I don't have to go to the movies and watch a damn horror film, man. I live it. You know, I fucking live it. And you're like, oh, well, I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's and I'm gonna go to Whole Foods. Man, these people get the food from the same type of companies, man. There's only like a handful of companies, maybe two handful of companies that's selling you all the same food, man. All the same produce, vegetables, fruit, things of that sort, man. They just putting different stickers on there and different labels. Sometimes they don't even change the sticker. I see the same sticker in Whole Foods and or when I go to another fucking grocery store, man. You know, it's the same sticker on the same peach. You know, I believe it was it Monsanto got a patent on the seeds or something, if I remember right. It's been so long since I've been over this, but you know, they control the seeds and you know, and if they don't, they just buy your company out, man. So you think you eating healthy and shit like that, but it's the same garbage. It's the same garbage. You just paying a little bit more, thinking you doing better than the next man. You know, I'm eating healthy. It's the same depleted soil, man. You know, you're not getting enough nutrients out these vegetables, man. They don't give the land a land Sabbath. You're supposed to let the land rest after a certain period of time. But no, they keep dumping all kind of fertilizers and shit in it. Keep the money coming in, keeping the plants growing. So you got to eat like 7 or 8 oranges just to get your required or the recommended dosage of vitamin C you should be getting. You know, you eating a salad, you need to eat about 5 salads at one time, man. So this is a living hell, man. And there's one fucking devil talking about, why don't you just move? If you don't like it here, where the fuck can you go? Huh? Where the fuck can you go? Chemtrailing everywhere, man. You know? And besides, the Lord put me here in a way to cuss y'all asses out, man. He put me here to cuss your ass out. So I'm gonna stay right here, you know? If he wanted me to be somewhere else, he would have had me born in a different country, man, on a different continent. But no, he had me be born and raised right here in America. So I'm gonna stay right here and cuss your ass out until he comes back, man, and talk about you like a dog, man. And that's just what it is, you know. He's like, oh yeah, it's shitty, you know. Let's just let it keep it shitty. That's his logic. Don't complain about it. Just keep putting up the shit, you know. Just deal with the shit. That's why America is in the fucking rut that is in now, man. Everybody just want to keep their head down. They just want a little money to pay their bills and go fuck off, man, and watch a Saints game or whatever bozos they're looking at on the TV Sunday. We'll go to 2 Ezra 15, verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, says the Most High." So the Lord is putting this in my mouth, man. I didn't come up with this, you know. He gave me the script and told me to read it, repeat it. Everybody, oh, what's wrong with you? Make you want to do that? Don't you think I had other plans for my life? You know? Don't you think I wanted to do something else? Huh? But just like how the Lord did Jonah, hey, you do your ass the same way. You gonna do what the Lord wants you to do, man. You ain't got free will. You know? You think you got free will, you got liberty to do some shit, but you ain't got no free will, man. I thought of 100 other things I could have been doing besides this. But the Lord said, no, you gonna do this. And that's just what it is. Whether you want to do it or not. Whether you want to go out there or not. And shit, you like a robot, man. When Friday come, whether I feel like it or I don't want to come, I'm here, man. It's like, like you're saying, like you possess, man. You control. The most I got your ass on like a remote control, man. I'm just programmed to come out here. I can't stay home if I wanted to. I could be feeling like complete shit. But come Friday, it start getting closer to Friday. I'm like, hey, I gotta load the car up, man. I gotta get ready to go to camp, man. I gotta get out on these highways and byways, man. That's just what it is. Believe me, some days I don't even want to come out here. But the spirit, won't let me rest, man. So you're gonna get your ass out there and you're gonna preach, man. And I say, hey, like Stephen, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ain't got no problem with that. Because you gotta always keep in mind once you start doing this work, Ecclesiastes 5, man. You made a vow to the Most High, you were gonna do it. So hey, you gotta come out here, man. I get on the plantation whether I want to or not, whether I feel like it or not. I get on the so-called white man plantation, whether I'm sick, don't want to go. So hey, same way with the Lord, man. I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna give it my all, man. I'm gonna give it my all too. Verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So what is truth? These prophecies, man, they've been coming to pass right before our very eyes, man, and they're gonna stay coming to pass. World War III is here, man. When they kick this second leg of this war off, shit's gonna get real, man. What you saw with this before play. You know, they was testing each other's systems out, shooting missiles here and there, tracking, you know, getting intelligence on it, trying to see where the drone's coming from. So now they didn't re-up and they're ready to go back in. And you know, and you think $4 and some change is a lot for gas right now. Iran said you're gonna be wishing you had $4 or $5 a gallon, man. Meaning the shit gonna go through the roof. You know? A lot of y'all gonna be you know, mopeds is gonna come in a big way, man. You're gonna have to commute to work on a damn moped. You know how they do in Vietnam and shit like that. You know, in the Philippines. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee. So yeah, I don't fear the imaginations against me. People want to plot, walk by me, you know, plotting on me. You know, they want to do stuff to me. They want to call the cops on me. But I don't give a damn. I don't fear none of it. You know, I don't give a damn what you thinking or what you about to do, man. It's not gonna change me from coming out here, man. I'm gonna be right back out here the following week. You know? So I don't fear none of that shit you thinking you plotting on, thinking you want to do to me, man. It don't bother me. You know, been there, done that. It says, let not the incredulity, the disbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So yeah, I don't care whether you believe me or not. You know, who gives a damn? Who are you? A lot of you people can't even fucking read, man. You know, a lot of your IQs are like in the 60s, man. You know, you nearly a retard, man. You know, you on retard levels, man. So I don't care what you believe, man. Whether you believe me or not. You know, I could bring up all this history, news articles, most importantly, the Bible. You know, so I could bring up the Bible, news articles, you know, history. And the only thing you can say is no, you know, that is not gonna cut it, man. You saying is not gonna work, man. You got to bring some proof. You got to back up the shit you saying, man, with some facts. You know, so you got to back it up with some facts, and you can't come up here talking about, well, this how I feel. You know, well, I feel like this. Oh, I feel like that. No, I don't want to hear nothing about your feelings, man. You know, you want to go talk to you about your feelings, go talk to your mama, man. Women good with feelings, man. Men deal with facts. You know? And logic. Go play with your girlfriend or your mama. You know, they can embrace your feelings. It says, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So yeah, like I said, I don't care whether you believe or not. I'm out here doing my job, and when I'm done, I'm going home. I'm not I'm not gonna sit up tonight praying for you either. I'm not gonna be like, oh Lord, why don't they believe me? Why aren't they listening? Once I pack up and leave here, 5 minutes into my ride, I forget all I was here, man. It's like I wasn't even here. But I start thinking about my next lesson, man, my next video. So it's business as usual, man. I'm just out here fishing for the elect. And like when you go fishing, sometimes you catch something and sometimes you don't, man. Sometimes you catch a boot. And a lot of y'all are boots, man. And tin cans. Sometimes you catch a piece of an old tire, man. That's a lot of y'all, man. So spiritually you get thrown back. You know? Where I'm at 46. Damn, I said I was gonna stop at 45, but let's keep on going. The spirit flowing, man, spirit rolling. Let's keep it going. Verse 4: for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So yeah, all the unfaithful, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, you unfaithful bastards gonna die in your unfaithfulness, man. Because you turn your back when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh. And they have forgotten. They see everything you niggas do, man. When I say niggas, I'm talking about all you tribes. The Most High knows you cheating on him, man. Now you calling yourself a Mexican, calling yourself a Negro, Black, a Native American, trying to hide yourself from the Most High. Puerto Rican. You calling yourself everything but Israelite. So the Lord say you niggas gonna die in your unfaithfulness. Man. You've been very unfaithful to Yahweh Ba'ashem. Very unfaithful. And it's treasonous, man. And what you do to a person that's gone AWOL, been a treason, a traitor, put their ass to death. The Lord ain't dealing with no damn traitors, man. His son Yahweh Shah is not coming back for a bunch of fucking degenerates, man. You're not gonna have no niggas on the so-called UFOs with wicks and fucking smoking blunts and shit on the so-called UFO, man. drinking 40s, man. It ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna be shooting dice in the fucking chariots, man. We're just casting lots, but we not gonna do that. He ain't looking for a bunch of filthy, disgusting, you know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna say that for another lesson. Verse 5, behold, says the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world. So yeah. And the latest plague is Ebola, man. It's the hantavirus. Now it's Ebola. So the Lord turning up, man. And if this thing start getting out of control by next week, we're gonna have ourselves a full-scale pandemic, man. Like the good old days with COVID-19, man. But it's supposed to be worse. That Bill Gates said. Bill Gates said this time this should get your attention, man. It's falling into that 21. I think the guy said around this week or next week, you start seeing cases start jumping through the roof. you know, and especially if they start jumping here in the States. So we got ourselves a pandemic, man. We got ourselves a plague here. And the most High gonna put motherfuckers to death too, man. Like he did with that C-119, you know? He says the sword, the gun, the famine's coming, straight of our moves. Hey, the oil supply is getting low, man. The reserves are running low. Eventually, hey, shit's gotta stop, man. You can't keep putting eventually the tap runs out. You know, whether it's engineered or not. They saying the shit's gonna stop. And once the trucks stop running, the food stop coming in. And then you're gonna have straight chaos in the streets, man. Empty shelves. Gonna go from empty shelves to nothing in the store. And then you're gonna have riots in the street, man. It's gonna be Mad Max 4.0, man. Forget 2.0. It's gonna be Mad Max 4.0 out here. You're gonna be fighting to death over a can of pork and beans, man. You know, over a pack of ramen noodles. You know, you're gonna see a can of. I'm talking about the 2/3 of the nation of Israel and the heathens. You know, I ain't talking about the elect because we don't eat that shit. You know, you're gonna see a damn can of spam, and you're gonna think it's damn a filet mignon, man. That's how bad it's gonna get from the lack of food, man. You know, you're gonna see a half eaten chicken leg in the trash can, and you're gonna think that's a damn a family box, man. You know, you're gonna eat every crumb out that damn box, man. Every crumb of that biscuit. You know, you got to blow the ants off of it, fight the roaches off. That's how bad it's gonna get, though, man. I'm laughing, I'm joking, but this shit's real, man. The Lord's coming back, and He's gonna bring. I just read, He's gonna bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. The Lord said He's bringing this, man, and you're gonna see martial law declared, military checkpoints, and you're gonna see just shootouts in your neighborhood, man. It's gonna be fucking full metal jackets, man. Fully autos from the U.S. military, mowing you people down in the street because they're gonna have orders to stop the insurrection. Because you're gonna lose your mind with no food out here to eat. You know, first they're gonna let you fight it out a little bit, fight amongst yourselves, but then they're gonna move in when you all tired and weak from not eating for a few weeks. They're just gonna move in and mow you down. You like, oh, I'm an American. I got constitutional rights, and they just gonna fucking mag dump your ass. You know, they're gonna give you a mag dump and say fuck your constitutional rights, man. You under martial law. You know, all your rights have been suspended. You know, and that's what it's coming to, bro. And it can't come fast enough. You know. Lord willing, I'm here to see it all, man. I want to see the troops on the street, and I want to hear the mag dumps. The airstrikes in your neighborhood. And oh yeah, don't let me forget. It's it's primarily for you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Jacob's trouble. The Lord's gonna unleash the U.S. military on your ass. They coming to kill you, man. You first on the list. You know? How could I forget that? You're the main event. You know, you VIP for this martial law. And everybody else is gonna get caught up in it. But the primary targets are you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans. Man. So you can't say you ain't never been warned. No, you never inquired. You know? So the blood's off my hand. You know, so the Lord said he's getting ready to bring all that. And the Lord willing, you know, they'll kick this second phase of this war off, man, to get this thing rolling. You know, because look, America's dead, man. It's dead. People can't afford to eat. You know, complaining about gas, food, inflation. The thrill is gone, man. You know, everybody scamming you, fucking you over, price gouging. So hey, it's all good though, man. You know, America had a good run, and it's over, man. We almost had 250 years of an empire lasting, man. And hey, you had it all, Esau, and you pissed it all away, man. Just like when you was the Greeks, just like when you was the Romans, and now fast forward, you know, to the American empire, because this is the main power structure of the world. So what now? You see yourself on this sign? You come from any of these people? What's your lineage? What about your father? Polish? Well, you know, during the medieval times, you may or may not know, so-called Negroes were ruling Europe, man. That's why they call it the Dark Ages.
I'm well aware.
You know,
Oh yeah.
you know they try to hide that fact, but so-called Negroes,
Yeah,
you know,
they're trying to hide it to justify
Yeah.
slavery.
yeah. So you know they say, oh, you guys was, you know, they like to make fun. Oh, we was kings and shit. Well, actually, we were. You know what I'm saying? It was actually Negroes running Europe at that time.
Oh yeah.
So, and as you know, once you have sex with the women there, you know, so if you come out of these people here, starting with the male though, depends on. I know it can go back generations after generation where the color changes. So, say for instance, a so-called Negro had sex with a white woman, right? So the child comes out, let's say, light complected. So what if that child gets with another white woman, so-called white woman, and so that child comes out pale complected, and it goes on and on and on, and then you get this color, like say for instance, your pigmentation, right?
Right.
So, but that's one thing about this. This is not a color thing. This is about the spirit. So a so-called black man, how many generations ago could have slept with somebody, through that line and came from this lineage, so you could come out this lineage just because you a so-called white person doesn't mean you can't be an Israelite, you know?
Yeah.
So, but since, I don't know your lineage, I can only go by the spirit though. So how do you feel about slavery? Do you think slavery is wrong or whatever? Okay. So do you think the people who put these people in slavery, well, so-called Negroes. Let's do them because they're like the latest. You know, do you think they should get some kind of recompense or payback for the people that put them in slavery?
Do I think they should? Yes, but I also believe that that's a slippery slope because just a short time before the whites, the white Europeans and so-called white Americans enslaved people of Africa, the ones that they call that.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a long time before that that the newly established lands in Africa where they were establishing the religion of Islam across Africa.
Yeah,
A
more.
lot of them, correct.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of the leaders, the kings, you know, whatever in Africa that converted to Muslim, a lot of them, plus ones that didn't convert to Muslim, would enslave and pay top dollar for the white European women. So then it becomes a question of, and before that, you had the Irish who were enslaved. And it goes on and on and on throughout history. The question is, who pays who and when does it stop? Because throughout all history, some group of people were enslaved. That's the only thing where I feel like it becomes a slippery slope to have reparations for one group and not reparations for everyone. And I feel like that will cause a larger divide between us as civilians, where I feel like we should be standing against together, civilians should stand together against the government body, you know, those people up there that are putting their foot on our backs and our throats.
Right.
And I feel like the start of reparations would be another divide that gets thrown in between us as a people.
Yeah, but we didn't ask for put it like this. We asked for the reparations. So-called white man said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you reparations."
Right.
But then once we got free, he's like, "All right, what reparations?" You know what I'm saying?
Right, correct.
So he didn't stick to his end of the bargain.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So the so-called Negroes, for sure, if you want to do it on that, we should be paid back not restoration, but reparations.
Correct.
Because if you make a deal with a man, you're supposed to honor that deal, right?
Yes, sir.
So he need to honor it, but he won't.
Correct.
Right? So for sure, now these people, we went into slavery because, you know, we are the chosen people. You know, you say it's like a slippery slope, but we the most high chosen people and we the apple of his eye. So we shouldn't have been going into slavery. But we sinned, you know, and that's why we got fucked up. And that's why we went into slavery, you know. But since the Most High allowed y'all to put us in slavery, if you're a so-called white man, I'm not saying you are, but just because you look like one, you know, just because he put you, well, put it like this, he gave us over to people like you and the so-called Arabs. They had us in slavery too.
Right.
That they got to get paid back for that, you know. You know, so the Most High, he got us all in the trick bag, you know. But he's definitely gonna pay back the people who have put his people in slavery. So he's gonna have to say, you know what? Since y'all had a rule or a hand in putting my people in slavery, I'm gonna have these people put y'all in slavery. You know?
Oh, definitely.
And so the Most High is all about payback, recompense, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why, you know, it's the Most High's will. You know, I didn't come up with this and say, hey, you know what? You know, this so-called white man had me in a slave on a farm or whatever. I'm gonna put you in there because I want to do it. No.
God says it himself in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. So you got something, brother? Or you just you got something?
Yeah, contact.
Contact. North Shore Prophet 3. Talking about as far as my YouTube page. Contact. All right, I gotta fill you out first, though. You know what I'm saying? I said I gotta fill you out first. You know, if you come by a few times, you know, because I just don't, you know.
I just so happen to pass it around.
Yeah.
said passing by.
Right. Well, if you want to check out my YouTube, I can do that for you. You know.
What's the YouTube?
Let's see here.
Got an Instagram?
No, sir. I just got YouTube, and I just try to keep it basic as possible. I'm gonna close it out, and then I give it to you. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and close the camp out. Before I get out and give all praise and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Rakakwada Shalom. So yeah, the Most High,